This is day 39 of dropshipping. Today, pretty much what I was doing is, like I said yesterday, I was gonna look over the copy just like I did for the site and make sure that there wasn't anything Meta could flag for like compliance issues, like wise, within, the ad or like the overall ad, like the images, headlines, hooks, the messaging, everything. And I was watching a couple videos and I ended up realizing that like the compliance issues is like really it's like 10-20% of like the actual issue on why like CPMs might be high, and the rest of it is mostly just messaging and like how broad my copy is, or how broad it is, like specifically talking about like the structure and how I'm trying to target my avatar, because my avatar could be really niche down and everything, and but like I could be my messaging within the copy could be super broad and just like not really specifically target the avatar that I niche down enough, so it's like a little bit untapped and like just not broad, or like something that other brands are already targeting, or like a market they're already targeting. So that's pretty much what I was doing. I was trying to find, or I was looking through like all three copies and really trying to hone in on figuring out how generic it was, like, and how broad it was, and pretty much everything within the copy, whether it was the hook, the lead, the mechanism, the UMP, the UMS, anything like that. Even the headlines, that's what I ended up doing. I changed the headlines. I changed a bunch of like the copy itself and made it more like niche down or specific to my avatar, instead of just kind of explaining it in a way that's just targeting like just the main person or the main problem. So I did that. Like I said, I changed the headlines. I changed the hook for one of the or actually I didn't change one of the hooks for the copies. I mostly just changed mostly the lead part and like the unique mechanism that for my product. And yeah, I was building out like a prompt, especially so like I could use it for like any other copies that perform bad or have high CPMs, and so I can figure out faster on like why the copy might be like performing bad, or why the ad might be performing bad, or if like it could be the messaging that could be the issue on the CPMs being high. um a lot of people say that usually it's the image that like might cause the high CPMs, but that's the thing, it can be anything within the copy, whether it's the headline, the hook, whether it's compliance issues that like you're targeting or hitting too much of like the health like industry or whatever. You can't risk it too much. You can't put like hard statements. And like I said, also the messaging. um but yeah, that's pretty much what I did. I literally did like almost 4 hours of work, or about 3 hours of work, but it was really like I was really focused, which I enjoyed. I wasn't really like on my phone or anything. I was just listening to music and trying to get the work done, since earlier in the day I didn't really get much done. But I'm gonna try and do this more often, since I really got like I didn't get much done, but I did like start to understand a lot more within editing copies and like trying to understand certain things. So this is gonna be a good test. I got everything pretty much done, like the copies and the headlines. Probably gonna put out the test tomorrow, since if I put it overnight, then it's probably gonna end up spending a little bit too much. And when I'm first testing, I've realized that, like I said before, I'm really trying to look at the metrics early on, because if you already have an ad account, or what I've noticed is if you already have an ad account that you've spent a good amount on, whatever test you put out, it'll tend to spend pretty quick for the budget. And I'd rather look at it early on, so if it has really bad metrics, I'll just turn it off, instead of wasting money like I would before, like leaving it overnight and then just letting it spend even though the metrics were completely ass. So I'm gonna do that. I'm still like if the CPCs are like low, I'm still gonna keep it on even if the CPMs are like kind of bad, but if they're really bad, then I'll probably end up turning it off. If the CPCs are super high, then I'll also end up turning it off in the first $50. So I'm gonna do this test tomorrow. Keep an eye on it, and just see where it goes from there. Hopefully the CPMs drop. If not, then I'm gonna have to figure out if I either change the avatar, change the desires, or just restructure, most of the copies depending on like how they perform. But yeah, that's pretty much it for day 39, I think.